Greetings, Chris Brown here. You know the feeling that something rises in you and before you know it, you've already reacted? The words are out, the door is closed, the distance is made. And somewhere underneath all of it, your body was trying to tell you something. Before the reaction, before the story, before the damage was done. The body is the first intelligence. It's an informer. It receives information before the mind interprets it, like a tightening in the chest, your face becoming flush, something shifting in the gut, the jaw that clenches before you know why. Well, something in you already knows. Most of us were never taught to listen here. We were conditioned and taught to think our way through, to push through, to be productive, to manage how we appear on the outside while the inside goes unattended. So we skip the signal and move straight to reaction. The hurt becomes a lash. Fear becomes withdrawal. The frustration becomes something aimed outward before we've even asked what it's actually about. The gap between signal and response is where emotional intelligence lives. And it begins with the smallest of pauses. Listening to pause. When I first began honoring my body as my greatest informer, it started with the slightest pause. Barely noticeable at first, just enough space to feel the signal my body was informing me with before acting on it. And this takes practice, and it takes something else. A willingness to speak kindly to your own mind as you learn. See, my mind at one point believed it was solely responsible for moving me forward. And I had to remind it gently, mind, you are brilliant, witty, and resilient. And you have also gotten us into some dangerous situations. I reminded my mind that it's part of a team now. Mind, body, and essence working together. And there was some convincing required. There usually is. The pause creates space for new choices, new ways of responding, reacting, and being. It opens a door that reactivity, the condition to react, that keeps closed. That door. I'll use an example, the grocery store run as a teacher. Recently, an ordinary errand became a master class in the practice of pause. On the ride to the store, I call all my energy back to me, wholly healed, purging out all that will not benefit me, moving forward in a good and balanced way. I cloak my field, call in my team, and I arrive attuned as a pillar of light. Inside the store, I couldn't help but overhear a loud conversation between two white men discussing how their rights were being taken. I felt it immediately in my tummy and my chest, my hara, my heart and thymus. Frustration rose, and beneath it something clearer, the absolute absurdity of those who have held the most benefit of systematic imbalance feeling robbed as that imbalance begins to shift. I paused, took a deep breath, thanked Mother Earth for her ground, and I called my energy back. And what I found was my emotional balance and worth were not actually affected by their conversation. The larger field of life was rearranging. I was simply holding space through emotional intelligence. What was theirs stayed theirs, and what was mine became clearer with gratitude to the pause. And then the ride home. There are 3 cars ahead of me, each stopped at a busy intersection, at the stop sign, to give money to an unhoused person on the curb holding a almost newborn kitten. Then, one by one, the cars moved on. There was no stop, look, and go. It was hold a conversation with this unhoused person, give them money, whatever. But I felt the frustration rise within me. Different this time. Layered. First, genuine grief, the trauma. So many of our unhoused, mentally ill and addicted people are left to fend for themselves. This hurts my heart every time. Second, something more complex. A read of manipulation. Someone using what little they had to be seen. A baby kitten. I paused with that second one longer, and what arrived was this: that we've all been conditioned. We have all learned how to survive within systems that entrap us. What I was reading as manipulation was also someone using the only currency available to them in that moment. I felt the usury energy underneath it all and said a blessing for them both, person and kitten, and drove on. What the pause makes visible for me doesn't always deliver in clean answers. Sometimes it delivers in grief. Sometimes your own complexity looks back at you, and sometimes compassion arrives only after you've moved through something uncomfortable first. That is the practice. Every time your body informs you is an opportunity to refine your presence, to expand your capacity to be, and to ask the question that changes everything. What is it about me that got so activated just now? So frustrated? Now, this is not self-blame. It's genuine curiosity. Your body is not your enemy. It's your most faithful informer, signaling long before the mind catches up. There's a question of whether you're willing to pause long enough to listen. The pause pause is available to you in every moment. It doesn't require perfection. It just requires your willingness to stop, breathe, and ask, what are you telling me right now, body? Is this mine? That question, practiced with patience and radical self-love, is how emotional intelligence grows. Not a personality trait that you either have or you don't have. As a living, breathing capacity that you tend like a sacred flame, one pause at a time. The body knows first. There's a practice, pause, and what becomes visible when you stop is emotional intelligence that gets activated and strengthened. Thank you to my mind, body, and essence for working as a team in sacred collaboration with Mother Earth and the great Star Nation and all living beings. Many blessings.